Hello, everybody, and of course, welcome back to another episode of X Talking Ish with your boy X.
And this.
You already know what to do. If you are on Facebook, please make sure you go ahead and like and share this broadcast. If you are on our Facebook page, please make sure you go ahead and check and like our Facebook page so you can go ahead and check us out for shows like this one on our Facebook page. And if you are on YouTube, please make sure you go ahead and hit a red subscribe button so you can go ahead and be tuned in with us, and also hit that notification bell so you can go ahead and be notified for shows like this one in the future.
Ding.
Thank you for that addition as well. If you are on Twitter, please make sure you go ahead and check us out. X Talking Ish on Twitter. And if you want to check us out on our personal page at X_Williams81, I've already retweeted that as well. My bad for the topsy-turvy or for my tongue. I'm going a little too fast for today because I don't know about you, Ish. I know I can speak for myself. I am very excited for the NFC Conference Championship games that are coming on today. And just for a disclaimer to let everybody know, I should be in Nashville right now. I shouldn't be at home doing this pregame show.
Move on. Nobody care about y'all. Y'all lost.
You cannot care all you want to. I'm just letting you know I'm supposed to be in Nashville. I am upset.
You should be burning that flag behind you. Is what you should be burning.
I'm not. Look, I'm not. I'm emotional, okay? But I'm not that emotional that I'm going to go out here and burn things that I either paid for myself or I got for free. So you know that right now it's not going to happen. So
you want me to burn it for you?
Anyway,
just for a statement piece. Just for a statement, and then we can get you another one.
You can state these nuts. All right. But before we do, of course, go right into these NFL Conference Championship games, of course, the biggest news that came out yesterday, Tom Brady plans to retire from the NFL after 22 seasons. We will not go into depth too much about it right now. We will save that for our Tuesday show when we recap these conference championship games. And, of course, news from yesterday and also news from today as well. Just a couple of minutes ago, the Las Vegas Raiders decide to hire their new head coach, former New England Patriots coordinator, Josh McDaniels. So that's very interesting. I'm pretty sure if you've been keeping up with Josh McDaniels and the New England Patriots and their whole structure on how they do business, I'm pretty sure a lot of people assumed that he was going to be next in line after Belichick, but hey, what we have to see more than anything is if this is a done deal, because we've seen already with Josh McDaniels supposedly going to be the Indianapolis Colts head coach, and then all of a sudden backed out. So nothing is official yet until that ink dries on a piece of paper. So it'll be interesting.
That's not even the most important part of that.
I'm listening. What's up?
The most important part of that is the return of Bill O'Brien to the NFL, because he's going to be the offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots, and maybe we'll get a return of GM Bill. Who knows? He could be the GM of the New England Patriots next year. I am waiting. The suspense is killing me for the announcement of Bill O'Brien as offensive coordinator and GM for the New England Patriots.
You okay?
What? That is all right.
First of all, offensive coordinator I can understand, but GM, so he's just gonna hop over Bill like that. That's how you doing it.
I mean, that's how he runs his organizations when he's there.
And that's why he ain't running any more organizations. That's another reason why he ain't running any more organizations.
Well, okay, maybe he'll be understudy to the GM. Okay, I mean, we'll see.
Shout out to Dominique Paul. He says, "What it do, fellas? We appreciate you and everybody as always for tuning in today."
Yes.
Let's go ahead and get right into the 2:00 game on this Sunday slate. The Cincinnati Bengals, who a lot of people feel like are a underdog, a team that probably shouldn't be here. They don't feel that way. And Kansas City Chiefs, a team that is now hosting the fourth consecutive AFC Conference Championship game in Arrowhead. First things first, let's, of course, congratulate both teams for being here at this point, being the top two teams in the conference. That is a hell of an accomplishment, especially for Cincinnati Bengals, who at one point in time during the season, they were literally last in their division. And I want to say for the Kansas City Chiefs, I want to say at one point in time in the division, for maybe week 4 or 5, when they were struggling, they were last in their division. So to see both of these teams start off slow, build up momentum, and are where they are at now, you have to, of course, give your props to both of these teams because it goes to show you, and I say this all the time on the show, it's multiple seasons throughout this whole NFL season. after this game, there's another NFL season. That's the Super Bowl. That's 2 weeks of being prepared and mentally and physically ready for the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. So, Ish, let's hear your insights. This is your team. This is your Kansas City Chiefs. You've been rocking with them for years now. Let's hear what you have to say of what your team has to deal with this young Bengals team.
Yeah, I mean, for me today, it's all about the defense. It's all about Kansas City defense and what are they able to do. We saw what happened in week 17 when they got torched by Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow to the tune of 475 total yards by the Cincinnati Bengals offense. The Bengals did win that game 34-31. So what does the defense do? How do they respond? A key to this game will be Tyrann Mathieu. We remember he got knocked out of the game last week. A lot of people want to say that was that caused some of the touchdowns that we saw Davis score, because a lot of those situations, Tyrann Mathieu would have been in that spot. He would have been playing there. Some of the miscommunication that went on, people would say Tyrann Mathieu would have been in there. They wouldn't have had that sort of situation pop up. So how does he come in and how does he impact that leadership part that we saw kind of go awry when he got knocked out? How does he step up and how do they choose to defend against Jamar Chase and this young Bengals wide receiving core? That is going to be the key to this game, because I do still expect Patrick Mahomes and that Kansas City offense to do what they have done pretty much the second half of the season and find a way to get points on the board, find a way to move the ball. I think that they will be able to do that. It's just going to rely on this Kansas City defense on whether or not they're able to stop Joe Burrow in this really talented young Cincinnati offense. That is what I'm excited about. I want to see this young offense again. I like watching them. I think they're electric. I think that they're exciting. I think that they bring this free-flowing, almost like a college style of offense to the game that makes it cool to watch. And that's not to say anything against the Kansas City Chiefs and what they do, because we all know that they're a great offense as well. But I'm excited to watch this Bengals offense against this Chiefs defense. That's key for me. Ultimately, I'm going to have to ride with my pick before the season started when I said that Kansas City would make it to the Super Bowl. So I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs today. I know a lot of y'all are going to be shocked. Y'all are going to be appalled. Y'all are going to think, wait, didn't you say Bengals to the Super Bowl last week? Yes. I did say that. And if I hadn't picked the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl at the beginning of the season, I might have just said Bengals, because I do believe this team has the makeup, like we have already seen in week 17, to beat this Kansas City Chiefs team. But I'm going to be a man of my word, as I have been all season long. And I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
You laugh so funny. It was so funny.
No. You know, I'm just laughing.
No, I'm just asking because I want to bring up this graphic right quick. Of course, if everybody remembers and you tuned in the beginning of the season, we of course brought up our AFC predictions and our NFC predictions, and at the moment, both of us got half of the team right. Correctly.
I was right. Okay. I picked the wrong orange helmet on that.
Oh, okay. Anyways, like I said, we
right division
half correct. Both picked the Kansas City Chiefs be at this position. We of course got the other team incorrect, but hey, I'll take a team that at least got to the playoffs compared to a team that imploded in
right division.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay-ish. All right, it could be right division. It could be right division. I want to. The team definitely imploded. I'll say
Bengals, that, man.
All right, let's get to the comment section right quick. Rosie B says 26. I think she means 28 other NFL teams said that should have been us as well. Justin Stabler also says, "Oh yeah, I got hats all of a sudden. We actually have had hats. We keep it on the low.
We keep it on the low.
And Justin also says, if that D-line can't get to Joey B, that back seven going to have a long day.
You're right.
This is very true, but I will say this, and I mean it's very true. I mean Chris Jones is a game wrecker, and him by himself, I mean they can send three, and Chris Jones will play two men. It'll be him pretending to be two guys, and that's just how effective he is. I think he will be the one that will alter this game because unless Cincinnati comes up with a different type of game plan to help the offensive line block, it's going to be a long day. We saw what happened last week.
I mean,
Cincinnati knew what Tennessee had on a defensive front, and they still let them sack Joey for nine sacks. And here's the problem: what I saw, there were no adjustments. I'm assuming, of course, there have been adjustments made going into this game, but my question is what are things going to look like in that first half? That first half is going to be very, very interesting to see if Joey B can stay up and maybe only get sacked only one time. I think the Bengals have a chance to keep this game close going into the fourth quarter. But if the Chiefs can get to Joey 3 to 4 times in that first half, I don't see the Bengals being able to keep this game close to where they can win this game at the end like they did in last week in Tennessee. The reason why is because we've seen Kansas City be able to come back from a 24-point deficit against the Houston Texans, against a touchdown deficit last week, against 10 points against whatever point deficit it is. Their games are never out of reach when you have a guy like Patrick Mahomes. So
yeah,
unless you're winning by 3 points with 13 seconds left to go in a game, you're still gonna find a way to lose that game. So with the Bengals,
crazy.
We saw last week with the Bengals. If you're going to win this game, you have to do it first half, second half, and step on their neck. I mean, that's the only way. But like what Ish said, and I'll just announce my pick as well too. Is no surprise. I think the Chiefs have had a hell of a season this year. The ups and downs, which is a good thing I think for them to help get them through the regular season, to help them get to where they are right now, for them to say, hey, we're right back in it again, which is the Super Bowl. I think the Chiefs take the ultimate prize, of course, the AFC Championship game, and we'll see them in the Super Bowl then in another 2 more weeks. Justin Stabler also says Ingram will have at least 3 sacks today. He says he guarantees it like Mattress Mac, but I will say one thing about Mattress Mac and his guarantees. Woo! You're going to lose you some money if that's the case. I will say that. So, Ish, anything else you have to say about that game before we move on to the NC Championship game?
I mean, like you were pointing out, just to bring the stat up that, was floating around, the Chiefs are 3-1 under Patrick Mahomes when their win percentage in the game drops below 5%. So,
that's crazy.
Like you said, they're never behind, never
ridiculous.
too far behind with Patrick Mahomes, it appears. So, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe Joey B is going to, get some wheels today and be able to run around like Josh Allen did last week.
Exactly. And just before we move on to the next game as well, too, Kansas City is averaging 33 points a game with Mahomes as their starter. So, meaning that if the only way the Bengals are going to be able to contend in this game is if they score minimum 34, 35, 19 points last week is not going to get the job done. So
34 again. They're going to score 34 again like they did in week 17.
We'll see. All right. That night game in the NFC, the 49ers and the Rams, these are 2 teams that are definitely familiar with each other. They are not teams that are don't know what's coming into this game. So for this game, this is a little bit different to me with the Chiefs and the Bengals, even though they did meet up last week of the season with the Chiefs and the Bengals, the 49ers and Rams, besides them, of course, playing each other in the regular season, they also, of course, know one another personnel-wise and also player relationship-wise. Everybody knows one another, so they know what everybody's bringing to the table. And this game is all about execution. It's who's going to execute and who's going to not mess up the game. Jimmy G, are you going to throw that inadvertent interception like you did with the Packers last week? Are the Rams... is this the game that everybody's waiting for Matthew Stafford to finally show us the Detroit Matthew Stafford? Is this the game that people expect this $1 million defense to finally give away and not play as good as they want them to play? I think the Rams are finally putting the pieces all together at the right time, like I stated just a couple weeks ago on the show, and it's definitely finally showing what this team can do. And even though the 49ers are coming into this game with a 6-game winning streak against the Rams, this is the one that matters, Ish. All those other ones, they matter, but this is the one that gets you to the big one. And this is the first time in history that the NFC team that's hosting the championship game, if they win this game, is able to host the Super Bowl. Of course, we saw that last year the hosting team host the Super Bowl, but they didn't host the NFC Championship game. So the Rams could have two playoff games. You could have some really good home cooking for this game. Stay there, of course, all next couple weeks long. Hang out with Dr. Dre, Snoop, and get you some home cooking and be able to relax going into this Super Bowl. And who knows? Again, this is a very good opportunity for not just with the Rams, but also with the 49ers to tell everybody and show everybody, hey, we're back. Remember, we were just in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. Even though we had a down year last year, we were still competitive. Now, hello, we're back once again. Even though, again, the Rams are the sexy LA team, as every LA team that gets stars like to do, the 49ers are an organization or franchise that's still well established in this league that has won championships, that have decades worth of glory and decades worth of greatness, that they have expectations that they expect to be here almost every year. And the 49ers are back. So this game, I think, honestly, call me crazy, I think this game's going to be better than the Bengals and Chiefs. It really is going to come down to who's going to execute more, or who's going to execute better, the Rams or the 49ers. Ish?
For me, it's a pretty straightforward matchup. I mean, we've seen it already twice this year. Both teams know each other very well. There shouldn't be any surprises coming out. So, yeah, I don't think that there's anything that we don't know already or we're not already expecting. I think for me, the key to the game is going to be, unfortunately, to sound like a broken record, defense. It's going to be the San Francisco defense. And are they able to make this an ugly game like they were able to make the Green Bay game? Like, let's just throw it out there, the elephant in the room. All right. We all already know who Jimmy G is. We all know that Jimmy G, he's not the guy that's going to go out there and throw 350 on these boys and, have this outrageous offensive performance and win this game for San Francisco. If San Francisco is going to win this game, it's all going to rely on that San Francisco defense and them keeping the game as close as possible, finding a way to stop Cooper Kupp, finding a way to stop OBJ, finding a way to slow down this run game, because the Rams right now, like you said, they have it all clicking at the right time. People were talking about them at the end of the season. They're kind of complaining about, hey, when are they going to figure it out? What's going to happen? And just when they needed to do it, it's like they are running on all cylinders. They figured it out. They know what they're doing. DeMeco Ryans has his hands full today. DeMeco Ryans so far has called an amazing playoffs. I mean, I think DeMeco Ryans honestly should be looked at as assistant of the year or something, because for him to do what he has done with this San Francisco defense, it is amazing. I think that LA, they have the home cooking, like you said. They're at home. There is a lot riding for them, and I think with all these streaks, that have been said about how they've lost so many in a row, so on and so forth, at some point it's got to end, right? It has to end at some point. It's not going to last forever, and that's why for me, I think it's going to continue, because I'm going to ride with the San Francisco 49ers like I have all season long. Since the beginning of the season, I have said it to y'all. I predicted it in the beginning. The 49ers will play the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I said that. I told y'all that. I have, seen it in a vision. And so I'm going to ride with the San Francisco 49ers. I just think that this defense, they're going to find a way to make it ugly. Even if I think, Cooper Kupp's going to be able to make a couple plays, OBJ is going to make some plays, but I think this defense is going to find a way to make it ugly. They're going to find a way to turn the ball over. They're going to find a way to slow the game down enough to keep Jimmy G in this offense in the game. And let's not forget Deebo Samuel. That man's a bad man too. Everybody talking about Cooper Kupp and OBJ. Let's not forget Deebo Samuel over there. George Kittle, they got George Kittle over there. They got Brandon Ayuk over there. I mean, they've got their own weapons as well. It's just whether or not Jimmy G is going to be able to distribute the ball to them. Is he going to make the throws when he needs to make the throws? And I think we saw it last week against Green Bay. They were able to pull it out somehow, some way. They found to pull the rabbit out of their hat. I think they can do it again. The magic is still there. They will continue this streak over LA. Kyle Shanahan is in Sean McVay's. He's in his head. He's his boogeyman. He's become the new boogeyman for Sean McVay. Like Bill Belichick was the boogeyman for the New York Jets and all the other
the whole AFC East.
The whole AFC East. He was the boogeyman. I think that Kyle Shanahan has become the boogeyman for Sean McVay. So I hope and I believe that Kyle Shanahan will once again prevail, and I will be right.
All right, we'll
the
see.
49ers.
Let's get to that NFC graphic that I talked about in the beginning of the season. We did it again. We got half of the teams right.
Combined, we were right.
Combined, we was right. I got the LA Rams and Tampa Bay Bucks, and you got the 49ers and Tampa Bay Bucks. So, I mean, I thought that was interesting for us to get half of that, both the AFC and NFC.
Half and half, yeah.
Hey, it is what it is. But overall in this game, though, what I'm really looking for is on – before I say what I'm about to say, what you talked about with DeMeco Ryans, maybe he's somebody that should be getting a head coaching interview for his team that he used to play for in a city named Houston, maybe instead of a guy named Josh McCown. But hey,
the Josh McCown thing is, but
not just 1 year. This is the second year Josh McCown has gotten an interview with the Texans. But anyways, I'm just throwing that out there. But what I wanted to see more than anything in this game is how do the 49ers defensively play against this offense for the Rams? Because, yes, you can double Coop if you want to, but again, you do have to worry about OBJ. And OBJ has been playing really, really well these last couple of weeks. But then also, too, you got to figure out if defensively wise, are you going to stop the run? Because Cam Akers – I mean, with him being back, he's being able to tote it the way that people expect him to tote it. So let's just say Akers can go for these 80 yards and Kupp can go for 80 yards and OBJ can go for 80 yards. That's a recipe for success for the Rams because it opens up everything. It opens up everything for you. So for the 49ers, you have to figure out what are you going to stop. You're going to stop that run first and then figure out, okay, well, we'll let OBJ get his. We can't let Kupp get his, right? So that's the chess match that I want to see in between them. With the 49ers, I want to see Debo. We talked. I was waiting for you to bring it up. I'm happy you brought it up. Debo cannot just run and catch. He can also pass the ball too. We saw him throw a touchdown pass in this meeting last time that they played against each other as well too. So I don't think that he'll pass the ball in this game, but it wouldn't shock me at all. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if Kyle Shanahan says, I'm taking the ball out of your hand, Jimmy G, and putting it in Debo's because I know he could take me to the promised land because we're at a point in the season now where F your feelings, everybody on the football team, F your feelings, we're one more game away from playing in the ultimate prize. So we got to take Jimmy G out, and we got to take Debo out. If we got to take whoever out, we got to take whoever out to get us to the Super Bowl, right? So I think that's going to be the interesting matchup within the matchup to see, like you said, with McVay. McVay, last time we seen him playing against the Niners, he was running down the sideline, dapping up his guys for scoring a routine touchdown. Will we see the same happy-go-lucky Sean McVay, or we're going to see a little more serious Sean McVay and know that, hey, this is it. This is for all the marbles. So it's going to be interesting. I'm excited. Hey, and I'm not just excited for this game. I'm excited for the future of football. Future of football looks bright. Again, I know we talked about Tom Brady retiring. Again, sources, that's what they say, and nothing's official yet, but we'll talk more about that on our Tuesday show. Of course, talk more about Josh McDaniels. We'll also talk about these games, and also we'll talk about any other random news that pops up in the NFL, because we know with the NFL, something will pop up again. So we will see y'all on Tuesday night, our recap show at 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern time. Thank y'all again for tuning in, and I hope y'all